I want to thank everybody for joining us today. My name is Nigel Herdig. I have the distinct honor of serving as the mayor of Kenmore. On behalf of the city, I want to welcome you all to this event today. I want to start off by recognizing some of the elected officials that we have. Is that any better? We can pick it up. I want to start off by recognizing some of the elected officials that we have with us. I'll start off with the folks that are directly behind me. We've got Councilmember Freeman File, Councilmember Marshall, Councilmember Baker, Councilmember Shrebnick, and then we've got Deputy Mayor Alcona behind me, Representative Kloba, Representative Dewar, Senator Stanford, and Councilmember Dembowski. And if I missed anybody, just scanning the audience. We also have former State Senator David Frock right there, who was a big part of this project. So we acknowledge that the original inhabitants of this area, the Coast Salish people. Since time immemorial, they've hunted, fished, gathered, and taken care of these lands. We respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and the water. We will strive to be honest about our past mistakes and bring about a future that includes their people, their stories, and voices to form a more just and equitable society. We are here to commemorate the official park name change and completion of this Walkways and Waterways project. The park we're standing on currently is just over 40 acres. The restoration and access improvements we're celebrating today cover about 11 of those 40 acres. In April of 2021, the Kenmore City Council approved a name change for this park that would become official upon completion of this Walkways and Waterways project. The name of this park is awh-ah-dees. This name comes from the Lachute village previously located in or near downtown Kenmore, and it translates to a place where something grows or sprouts. If you'd like to hear a better pronunciation than I just gave, you can scan the QR code located on the signage throughout the park with your phone and hear a recording of the Lachute Seed name. The city would like to thank Jill LaPointe, Director of Lachute Seed Research, for her assistance in reviewing the park signage with confirmation of the written Lachute Seed and anglicized version of the name. We would also like to thank Douglas Chin, whose research in his book, The Chinese in Washington State, helped inspire us to change the park's name. We'd also like to acknowledge Mary Jane H. Topash, Assistant Director of Cultural Education Initiatives at the Burke Museum, who assisted both the city and the Kenmore Heritage Society in creating 2 interpretive signs and 10 native plant markers that commemorate the new park name and honor the livelihood of Coast Salish people who originally inhabited the area and the many indigenous peoples who still reside here. And most importantly, for their assistance in recommending the new park name, we'd like to thank Suzanne Greathouse and the Kenmore Heritage Society. Ray Freiberg, Sr., Tulalip Tribal Elder, Historian, and Researcher at the Hillbub Cultural Center. And Absolute Nation member and Kenmore resident, Lisek Saisha Ross Brady. And I apologize if I mispronounced it. Do we know if Ray Freiberg Sr. is here today? Okay. Well, I'm really excited to be celebrating the completion of this project. 11 acres of newly renovated and newly named awh-ah-dees Park reopened to the public, and we're here today to celebrate its completion and to cut the ribbon. Since incorporation in 1998, our community has been seeking better access to the waterfront, to view its beauty, its wildlife, and to enjoy it recreationally. Working together as a community, we made this happen. In 2008 and 2009, the City of Kenmore accepted the deed of the 40-acre park property from King County and explored ways to provide better public access and environmental restoration. In 2014, the city purchased a very strategic 0.65 acre property right over there where the picnic stand is right now, from longtime Kenmore residents Charles and Catherine Toot, who are here with us today. Back there. I'd also like to thank and remember the late Kenmore resident Carol Osuski, who brought this property to the city's attention and connected us with the Tweed family. Carol's love for getting people to the water was unmatched, and we're forever grateful for Carol's long-lasting impact on the community, and we honor his memory. This property purchased from the Tweed family gave the city full access to and control of the lagoon right over there, which is a very unique and key feature of the park, as well as direct waterfront access to the Sammamish River. It also created an opportunity to further expand public access to larger park property to the east, including restoration of the natural areas which had been overtaken with invasive plant species, especially Himalayan blackberry and reed canary grass. In 2015, a concept plan was created during the Imagine Kenmore public outreach effort. And this project joined 4 other projects to create what was called the Walkways and Waterways Bond Levy that was shared with voters. A group of dedicated community members, including a lot of the folks here today, worked tirelessly to educate the community about the bond measure. And in 2016, the bond measure passed. Taxpayers agreed to invest in 2 sidewalk and bicycle safety improvement projects and 3 waterfront improvement projects, including this park. Thanks to our voter support of the bond measure, this project allowed us to restore over 4.5 acres of wildlife habitat and provide 1.5 acres of improved public access to the waterfront. I'd like to thank the Kenmore City Council back in 2016 who had the vision, foresight, and courage to put Walkways and Waterways on bond measure on the ballot. If any of our 2016 council members are here, could you give them a wave? I know I saw former council member Danuski. There she is. Between 2015 and 2018, the council supported the Snow King Watershed Council in their effort to complete a 2-acre riparian restoration project here. In addition, the existing riverfront lagoon, the riverfront float, and the lagoon dock were replaced and expanded to expand water-dependent recreation in anticipation of this project. And finally, after 6 years of design, permitting, and construction, the project is finally complete. The improvements do a lot of things. Things like restoring riparian and salmon habitat along the Swab Creek shoreline, creates over 1 acre of new wetland and increased native vegetation, restored 11 acres by removing over 4 acres of invasive species and planting over 15,000 new native plants and 5,000 new native trees. It creates an essential park infrastructure, including a new entrance on 175th, parking lot, entry plaza, restroom, and a hand carry watercraft washdown station. It provides accessible public access with a network of pathways, elevated boardwalks, bridges, and viewing decks. Provides new community gathering spaces at the waterfront plaza and the Western Picnic Shelter. It expands hand carry water-dependent recreation facilities in the man-made lagoon, and exposes our community to art with installations from public artist Jennifer Dixon and Ty Juvenile. This project took a lot of work and took a lot of people working together to make this happen, and it brought together a lot of partners to make this work, including the City of Kenmore, Carolyn Law Consulting Public Artists with the Project Ad Hoc Public Art Committee, the Kenmore Waterfront Activities Center, the Snow King Watershed Council, the Kenmore Heritage Society with the Burke Museum, North Shore Utility District, King County, Puget Sound Energy, Ziply Fiber, Washington State Recreation and Conservation Office, Councilmember Dombowski of the King County Council, former State Senator David Frock, State Representatives Jerry Collette and State Senator Javier Valdez, and our new representatives, State Senator Derek Stanford, State Representatives Davina Doerr and Shelley Klobuchar. And this project was funded by a variety of funding sources. Got to thank everybody involved. The funding sources include the Kenmore Walkways and Waterways bond funding, the State Recreation and Conservation Office grants from the Aquatic Land Enhancement Account and the Washington Wildlife and Recreation Program funds, the 2021 legislative session member requested local community project grant through the Washington State Department of Commerce, the King Conservation District Member Jurisdictional Grant, the King County Conservation Futures Trust Fund, King County Waterworks 2019 and 2021 Council Allocation, King County Trail Levy, King County Swamp Creek Basin Funds, Kenmore Heritage Society, and Park Impact Fees, Public Art Funds, and the Real Estate Excise Tax. I'd like to thank the contractor and the construction support and design team and our 1% for the Arts Public and 1% for the Arts Public Artists. So that's Strider Construction Company with Boulder Creek Landscape Construction, Ashford Electric and Construction Company, and several other subcontractors. Osborne Consulting with KBA Construction Management Company. Our public artists, Jennifer Dixon. The Mott McDonald Company with J.A. Brennan Associates Landscape Architects, Confluence Environmental Company, Stell Environmental Enterprises, Tree Solutions, Landau Associates Incorporated, and DeVito Consulting Group. And I would really like to recognize all the hard work that went in from our city staff. This includes our communications team, our public works folks, development services, and community development. And I want to give a special shout out to a few folks, including Maureen Kalitzi, the project manager, Quinn Profit, our parks maintenance supervisor, our community development director, Debbie Bentz, city engineer, John Vicente, Public Works Operation Director Jennifer Gordon, and Development Services Director Samantha Loyer. And I'm going to take just a moment here to recognize Maureen Kalitzi and her work as our Parks Project Manager. As you saw with our log boom park renovations, now this park, she has a high standard of excellence. This project was very complex. We had many different moving parts, many layers of permitting involved, with needing approval from local, state, and federal agencies and many stakeholders to involve and satisfy. Maureen has handled this with grace, skill, and professionalism, and we are very lucky to have Maureen on our team. With these parks, she's left a legacy that will put smiles on countless faces for many, many years to come. Thank you so much, Maureen. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the voters of Kenmore for putting their faith in the city to deliver on our promises from the Walkways and Waterways bond measure. I believe we've delivered. Yay. For almost a decade, the city has partnered with the nonprofit Kenmore Waterfront Activity Center, or KWAC for short, to provide a variety of recreational programming and activities to support public access to the water. KWAC had to leave the park to make way for construction, and we very much appreciate their patience and flexibility during that absence. A huge thank you to Sherry Baker, KWAC president, and their board members. And now that they're back, KWAC will resume their work in providing opportunities for hand-powered water sports, including canoeing, kayaking, dragon boating, and outrigger canoeing, including providing special youth scholarships. And KWAC will be hosting a waterfront activities fair following the ribbon cutting ceremony, so we hope that you'll join them on the water. Now I'd like to introduce Rod Dembowski, our King County Council member, who played a key role in the King County funding sources mentioned earlier. Councilmember Dembowski.
Thank you so much, Nigel. How about a round of applause for that job? Wow, amazing. That's a lot of names and a lot of thank yous, and you know you're going to get grief for leaving somebody off later, right? It is great to see everybody out here today. How are we doing? Yeah. My name's Rod Dembowski. I represent Kenmore and all of kind of North King County on the King County Council. I chair the Transportation, Economy, and Environment Committee. And in that role, I've had the opportunity to see a lot of acquisitions of open space and parks and investments. And I have to tell you, I don't think in my time on the council, I have seen anything more beautiful and special than what you have created here. It is incredible. You deserve an incredible
Lisa, I'm following you.
It's amazing. In a little bit, you'll get the chance to walk out here, and I hope you'll pause and maybe come back and make sure people and just listen. You can hear them now, the birds, and you'll see the ducks and the geese and the waterfowl around there. And it really connects you. It brings you back. It reminded me, I had to pull it up, of a John F. Kennedy quote. He was speaking in the Newport Yacht Club in 1962 at the America's Cup. And I talked about people's draw to water. That really enjoyed me. I just read this quote. He was talking about the sea, but I think it's applicable to where we are today. He said, "I really don't know why it is that all of us are so committed to the sea, except that it is because, in addition to the fact that the sea changes and the light changes and ships change, it's because we all came from the sea." And it's an interesting biological fact, and I don't know if this is true. Somebody should check this. That all of us have in our veins the exact same percentage of salt in our blood that exists in the ocean. And therefore we have salt in our blood and in our sweat and our tears, and we are tied to the ocean. And when we go back to the sea, whether it is to sail or to watch it, we are going back from whence we came. That's what this park is about to me. That's what the watercraft are about. That's what the vision of Kenmore and its residents to reconnect this city and its community to the water is about. There's something inside us that wants to do that, and you can feel it when you're there and you're out there. And it's incredibly special. To create this special thing, it took vision, as the mayor talked about, and it also took teamwork. And you heard all of the team members there, and it's a lot of work. King County is proud to be a part of that team. And Nigel, you hit on some of the funding sources, but I've been asked to just highlight some of them as well. The county is your partner in this work, from granting to the city the deed, the original copy, because we used to run the area. But we brought something called the Waterworks grant funding to it. I know you get a big sewer bill. People think they pay too much for sewer, and it is expensive. Part of that money, that's all about clean water. At the end of the day, it's about clean water. And there's a program that on our sewer bills that is called the Waterworks program, and we make investments in community to make sure we clean water. And that's what the wetlands are about, filtering water to make sure that it's clean. Some of your sewer bill went into this park. We have the Conservation Futures program. You pay a little tax on your bill. Voters just raised it 3 cents last year to restore it. You are paying into that fund, and a big portion of the dollars for this came from our Conservation Futures program at the county. We've brought other things, $1 million from the King County Swamp Creek Basin funds. The parks levy that the county runs. We run a region-wide parks levy. We renew it about every 6 years. We partner with local jurisdictions, so per capita amount goes back to each city, and then there's additional grants, and $500,000 from the parks levy contributed towards construction, and $400,000 towards habitat restoration benefits. As I mentioned, we run the sewers. Apparently, somewhere here, there's a 15-foot sewer trunk line, right? Where is it? Are they standing on it? It's right here. All that sewage goes into those trunk lines. We collect it and we send it to a treatment plant, either West Point or Brightwater, depending on how it goes. And that was one of the complex things that had to be dealt with, how to engineer around that. The county was a partner in that. Anyway, it's a complex project. We're proud to be a partner with the city of Kenmore. And I just, when you go out to that furthest point, I think you've created the most special place in Kenmore. There's a bench out there. And I think there's going to be reflections on lives past. There's going to be marriage proposals. There's going to be asked to the prom. A lot of life events for today's and future Kenmore residents are going to occur out there at the very end of that tour, for people wanting to be drawn back to and connected to water. And the vision to do that and the partnerships to make it happen is really a special thing. And I just congratulate you all on it. And in case nobody else does, where's Rob Carlisi, your city manager, who likes to back out? Where's Rob? Okay, he's right there. Come up here, Rob. Come on. This guy's too modest. But every orchestra needs a conductor. And this is your city manager. You just have a tremendous professional here who is respected throughout the region and made it all happen. Good job, guys. Thank you for letting me share a few words with you today. Back to the mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilmember DeBastion. We really appreciate your partnership and everything King County did to help make this happen, because it wouldn't have happened without you. Next, first I wanted to recognize that one of our former state representatives, Jerry Paulette, is in attendance. Jerry also was a big part of making this happen. Thank you so much. And now I want to turn it over to State Representative Davina Dorr to say a few words.
Thank you. I will endeavor to make my my comments as big as my contribution, which is very short. Because really the efforts are years long in the making, and I'm just so honored that I was invited to share in the celebration. I've been your neighbor in Bothell for some time. I was on the city council there, and I have to say I would often look over at Kenmore and say, they've got something really special going on, because it's a little city, but the synergy between your electeds, your staff, and the residents is really bar none. You get amazing things done here in Kenmore, and I've looked over here and been jealous. So, one of my big priorities in the legislature is the environment, and so this is very special to me to be able to celebrate this with you. I actually live off the Brook Gilman, and so I intend to spend a little time over here on my bike. So thank you for providing me a destination. So with that, I just want to make sure you really think about the people who are up here speaking are not the ones to be thankful for. It's really the people behind the scenes, your staff, city manager, and all of you for believing in government and what it can do for you. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Representative. Now I'd like to invite State Senator Derek Sanford to say a few words.
Thank you. I am Derek Stanford, State Senator for the 1st District, and like Representative Dewar, the 1st District is new to Kenmore. Kenmore is new to the 1st District. So I do want to thank our former Senator Frocht and Representative Paulette. I think this place is a great example of what happens when we can work together in partnership. When I was listening to the long list of thank yous for the many people who worked on this and all the different funding sources, what I was thinking about was how we're all coming together to work on this goal together. And certainly the state has played a role in that funding, the city has played a role, the county has played a role. It's everybody working together, and this is just a great example of the wonderful things that we can accomplish when we do that. And it doesn't happen by accident. We have to work really hard to make that happen, and this just kind of shows why that is so worthwhile. I also want to comment on the name of this park. I think that's very meaningful. One of my roles in the Senate is that I'm liaison to the Senate Democrats to tribal nations. And having a place that celebrates the heritage and history of where we are is really important. It helps us to think about where we've come from and where we're going. And this park and its name, awh-ah-dees, emphasizes that we have a long history here. Humans have a long history here. And we can look back to that and think about that as we look toward the future. So this is not just a place of recreation and enjoyment, but also education and growth and learning. It's a really special thing, and I just think that's so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Now I'd like to invite State Representative Shelley Kloba.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very glad to be joining you today. I am a new resident to Kenmore. My husband and I moved here back in September. And it's really been an honor and a joy to start to get to know Kenmore. I will confess that previously I think Kenmore was sort of a place that I went through on the way to somewhere else. And I have been just absolutely delighted to find all of these wonderful places like this, like the hangar, some placemaking that I think has not happened by accident. It has been a concerted effort, and so I am just super proud to say that I am now from Kenmore. Yay! And I think that this place reminds us that healthy cities need to have places that inspire awe and curiosity and joy. And I don't know how many of you have walked and seen the little poetry moments. I am absolutely just astounded by those. They're so wonderful. We need a place like this that's going to engage our senses with beautiful sights and, like Councilmember Dembowski reminded us, the sounds of the birds and everything, and the art, and whether that's sculpture or poetry, or even just the art of the landscaping is amazing. But we also need the meaningful connections to place. And I think that this will be a place of healing and recovery for anyone who needs to, indulge in some moments of nature and her restoration. And it's not just that connection of our spirits to nature, but it's the healing and the recovery of the environment. We've reclaimed it from the blackberries. That's always a good classic battle of good versus evil. And some of the healing from the wounds of our past colonization. And so for all of those things, I'm grateful for all of the people who have teamed up to get this together, and it really is going to be a jewel in the crown of Kenmore. And I'm so happy to be here today to celebrate it with you.
Thank you so much, Representative. And last but not least, I'd like to invite Maureen Felici up here to say a few words about this wonderful project that she helped make happen.
Well, I have to say that it's pretty hard to beat all of these wonderful comments that have been made about the heart, the team, the work that has been involved in it, the leadership. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to really give what I need to say with the same, I guess, eloquency that they have, but I'm going to attempt. So I just want to say I'm so grateful for being here today and just being with everyone. It means a lot to me. 6 years ago, I started a journey with Kenmore, and I'm here today because this is an amazing process we've been through. 6 to 8 years of a lot of people's time and energy to build what we're seeing today. And that does not come easy. What the comments that have been made here, where you can see every beauty right now, right? But what I wanted to bring you back a ways, even 18 months ago, if you were to be where you are today, you would not be able to see anything around you. The site was completely overgrown by invasive species, and I'm not exaggerating that comment. When you would stand on 175th, you had no idea. When I got the address of where to go, and I rode my bike from home. I tried to get a little up on my, what am I going to be doing for the next 6 years kind of thing before I started working on May 15th of 2017. So I rode my bike here, and I remember Debbie Ben saying, yeah, it's right off 175th, and I probably passed it 5 times because you didn't know a there was there. You do today. And a lot of that has to do, thank you, a lot of that has to do with this very yin-yang relationship between what is built and what is natural. And you have to create a design and an infrastructure for us to be able to enjoy the what is natural. And that's where I want to congratulate the team who did the design for this project. Jim Brennan. And the one who implemented the design, Drew Combs. The environmental team, who really was instrumental in helping us navigate how to get our permits. It is not easy to navigate the environmental regulatory agencies, many processes, the many agencies that you have to work with, the many personalities, the many permit requirements, and I'm just so thankful that Marlene Meters and Carrie MacArthur were here to really help and guide us through that process. Chris and Confidence Environmental. That would not have we would have not been able to be where we are today unless we were successful. And that consultation and the time spent with regulatory agency members and the tribe, Muckleshoot tribe, fisheries biologist, Karen Walters, it was a wonderful process because they weren't there to say no. They were there to try to educate us on how to do it. How do we make this project work? How do we do what we need to do to make sure that we're serving our environment in the best way possible? So then, I'd also like to acknowledge Mont McDonald. They are the engineers of record. They are our prime consultant on the design. This is Evan Sheasley. And Evan is our engineer of record. He's also our structural engineer. And I have to say, he's really good at structural engineering. He knows what he's doing. A lot of us lay people don't understand it at all, and so it was really something we had to keep saying, can you please help us understand this? But the place that you're standing on, these boardwalks, these bridges, these gangways, everything that we built has to be structurally sound and has to be safe and it has to be accessible. And that was our goal, and that was our, we had to make this project accessible. So that, what you're experiencing here and the environment that we created, this beautiful place that you see, it happens because we had to build the infrastructure in order to see it. I want to thank North Shore Utility District, PSC, Puget Sound Energy. This site had no water, sewer, or electrical. We had to bring that into the site. And that is also not an easy task and an easy process to navigate. Learned a lot out of that process. So those are some of the things that I wanted just to have you understand, that the beauty of the natural environment, which we've spoken to, is only here because we built the ability for us to actually be on this land in a way that will be sustainable. Speaking about the natural environment, we were able, this project had a lot of vegetation. Some of them were trees. We did our best to respect all the significant trees in the park. And I have to say that we were able to maintain over almost 200 native trees, significant trees, we were able to maintain and preserve. Yeah. And behind us, I want to acknowledge that the design from the beginning, from the community in 2015 said what they would like to see happen at this park. Those cedar trees were very important to this community, and we worked our hardest to protect them from impact and incorporate them into the environmental design in a way that is very honorable. So we also were able to make sure that what we were obligating to our community, what we said to them at the very beginning of this process, were actually built. So I do have one thing I'd like to read. I have a few more people that I'd like to thank, and then we can cut the ribbon. So if you bear with me so I can get my notes out. We have two artists who have really made an impact on this project, Jennifer Dixon and Ty Juvenile. And the 1% for the Arts Fund is very instrumental, and our Art Fund reserve is instrumental in helping to really make the artworks that you see here happen. 3 parks. We asked Jennifer Dixon, we did a call for artists, and we interviewed. There was a committee, a really, really beautiful committee who helped make that happen, led by Carolyn Law. That's Sarah Holm-Pazisi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Stacy Admin, David Francis, Drew Combs, Nancy Owsley, and again, facilitator Carolyn Law. That process where we had to review artists' work and we had to really try to find an artist who understood the goal of integrating art into the project was wonderful. Thank you. Secondly, I would like to acknowledge the project that she built here that one of the representatives really spoke to. The bird blinds, which is a comprehensive project that you're seeing artworks here in the concrete, the railing that she was talking about with the wonderful poetic statements of what you're seeing, the entry gate right there, and of course the signature bird blinds on the 3 viewing points. The celebration of the relationship between water, land, and trees and sky. Bird blinds is Jennifer's 3rd and final artwork installation for the 3-part, 3-year project. The artworks celebrate the relationship between water and land and trees, and tree and sky. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for your contribution. The next artist is Ty Juvenile. Ty's artworks came to us sort of late in the process, and I just wanted to acknowledge him for being able to adapt during construction and really accept the locations that we had available for his artworks. His artworks are just really speak to what this park is all about and the name of the park. A Toledo Tribe public artist. He was commissioned by the Kenmore Heritage Society. Ty fabricated and installed 2 works upon City Council's approval of the design and fabrication in location in 2022. Salmon Scarcity, which is behind you, is a mural of the Coast Salish design depicting fishermen trying to harvest food, although the salmon have been eaten and the rise of the seals in the waters. Salmon Scarcity pays tribute to salmon scarcity in the Toledo tribal history. The second art piece that you can see, which I think is really wonderful about, you can see these artworks from wherever you are in the park, is that one right over there on the bridge. Alone We Thrive is a painted aluminum Coast Salish design sculpture inspired by the discovery of local kokanee that were thought to be extinct within Lake Washington and Snohomish River, but they have been recently being discovered and found, which is amazing. And his artwork was really inspired by that knowledge that they are still out there and they exist. Again, it's been an amazing experience working with both of these 2 artists. And again, Ty, thank you for stepping in during instruction, and I really just appreciate your storytelling and your peaceful approach. Your artworks honor the Coast Salish people and their connection to the land and the water for all of us. Jen, I wanted to also thank you for your compliments that you gave me at the log boom ribbon cutting, because that was very beautiful, and I was very touched by that. Your attention to detail and your collaboration with both the designer and the contractor was commendable. And the results of your art is stunning. Thank you so much. Finally, I had another person that I had the opportunity to collaborate with, and that's Susan Greyhouse. She's the Kenmore Heritage Society president. She is what we call a co-creator. She basically helped with developing the cultural features in this park, which are what we're speaking to. Susan, she brought out, let me just tell you all that she's done. She brought forward the people who renamed the park. Her ideas for commissioning artworks, the native plant markers that you will discover throughout the park, and their relationship to the native people. Her contacts with the Burke Museum, which has already been acknowledged earlier, Mary Jane Topash, assisting us with interpreting native people, native plants, and a place where things sprout and grow, interpretive signs, which I hope you were able to go and see and read. So, Suzanne, you've left Kenmore with a wonderful love note. That's what we call it when people who from our community really do give back and leave things for us to enjoy. That will be cherished for years to come. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working with you. Okay, so, well, what do we do now? We're about to cut this ribbon, right? And I have a few more things to say, so please hang in there. But what do we do from now? Our work really isn't done, and actually one of my coworkers just congratulated me, but he said, yeah, I know there's more work, right? We have an obligation to maintain what we've built, and that's not an easy task. So we have the natural environment that likes to do kind of what it likes to do. And so you have to keep trying to adapt to how it acts, and that takes a lot of effort. So we also have this wonderful infrastructure which gets used, and sometimes it gets a little bit abused, and we have to try to maintain that. We are fortunate that we have wonderful maintenance staff, and then 2 new maintenance staff members that are going to be coming on board to assist with our parks because of these projects. And we also are about to engage in a contract with an organization with a biologist and a team to help maintain these natural areas. But they're not going to do that alone. We really need you. We need you to be able to be here to help us. Stewardship of this land is all of our responsibility, and we will be looking upon support and also for your blood, sweat, and tears in helping us to volunteer to maintain all of this wonderful land. So please join in with that. It is one of those things that you're going to get so much out of if you participate in this and support us in that effort. And finally, I really need to end this this ceremony with a personal note of gratitude and appreciation. You so gratefully thanked the key person that I think has really been the steward of all of these walkways and waterways projects, and that's Rob Cardinese. Rob, how are you? I just love your passion. First of all, I am, if you don't know me, I am passionate about parks, I'm passionate about art, and I'm passionate about habitat restoration. So this is the world for me right here. This project is an example of what really makes me excited and completes who I am. And thank you, Rob, for your vision, for standing up for the process of Imagine Kenmore. Thank you to the citizens who helped with the concept design to make this project start. And Debbie Bent, thank you so much for your constant support, just your ear for how to deal with things. I can't say enough about how much you've been there. Where are you? Can't see you.
Here, Debbie.
And council, mayor and council. Where's my mayor? Where'd you go? Here you are. My past mayor, all my council members. Really, you said it right. This council is an amazing council. They are extremely supportive. They are there for us. They know what it takes to do these kinds of projects. And I just want to thank you so much for that support. We really need it, and we're really thankful that you're there for us. Lauren Komiak, are you with us today? Did Lauren make it today? Lauren, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing the story of these projects. She is our communication specialist. Without her and her team getting the word out about what we do, these wonderful accomplishments, the improvements that we made, you wouldn't know what's going on. So I just want to acknowledge her. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge one other person that I've had the privilege to work with. We've already mentioned you, but you're going to be mentioned again, Quinn Prophet. I just want to thank you for your commitment to these projects, your support through all of it, and your shared knowledge. He and I have been at every meeting, standing in the rain, every decision that had to be made. It really was a joint effort. I just really want to thank you for your shared knowledge. Your involvement made my job easier, and it has been a pleasure working with you. Thank you so much. So a month ago, our I guess you'd call it our resident engineer, awh-ah-dees, right there. We were coming to the end of the most critical part of construction when you reach substantial completion, and when we had the ability to take the fences down and let the public really kind of enjoy the park for the first time. Today we're really doing that ceremony of dedication, but he was departing us, and he had some really wonderful words that I'd like to share because I do think that they're valid for all of us who have been involved in the Walkways and Waterways projects. Any contribution you've made as a citizen for this effort. I just want to leave you with some of his words that I felt were just beautiful and resonated with me. Please take a moment to reflect on what you have achieved and what we have achieved together, and feel proud of your role you played in creating something that will benefit the community for years to come. The success of these projects reflect your hard work, creativity, and problem-solving skills. Your attention to detail and commitment to quality have been instrumental in ensuring that every aspect of this project was executed to its highest standards. Together, we have accomplished something truly remarkable. It is a testament to our collective commitment to excellence and teamwork. From the beginning, we set out to create an iconic park in Kenmore that would provide a welcoming space for people to come together, relax, and enjoy nature. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we have achieved our goal and more. Thank you very much.
Well, on that note, I invite everybody to enjoy the park, hang around for the waterfront fair that KWAC is putting on. We're going to be moving this structure out of the way and doing the ribbon cutting here shortly, and I would invite